Hello, 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 and welcome to another Daily Code Fun. I am One Lion, and we are looking out at a beautiful scene. Holy cow, look at this. That looks nice. That is Williamsburg, New York. Williamsburg? Williamsburg. And it's raining. Oh my gosh. I wish I could be there. And that was the last little bit of my water. Anyway, hello, happy Tuesday, which is my Monday. Happy Tuesday to you two Defiance. Hope you're doing well. And Dukasoft is here. So today I have something fun planned. Well, I mean, fun for me. Probably not for you guys. It'll just seem like the same old for everyone. But for me, it's pretty exciting. We are going to officially put together the theming example for the GitHub repository. I want to use it as my repository, same old fun. Use it for my repository for the question that I posted in the Microsoft forums regarding being able to customize the title bar in everything but Windows 11, essentially. So let's get started. This is my desktop. I should probably change my scrolling text for this because I do plan, I don't know if I'm going to do it, but if I do, I'm not editing this out. I plan on putting this on YouTube as well if everything goes well. So this is going to be a Blazor Hybrid application theming example. And this is Visual Studio 2022 preview. Visual Studio Community 2022 Community. How long have I had that there? Preview. All right. So we're going to let that tick, 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 tick. I probably want to add some more space to that too. Does that look all right? That looks better. All right, then here we go. So let's get Visual Studio opened up. As mentioned, I'm using Visual Studio 2022 Preview. Hello, Zoltra Lord. Zoltra Lord. Oh yeah, and I guess that's one thing that I would want for my YouTube videos eventually is to have the chat in frame somewhere. I'm not good at this, but that's okay. Hopefully the content and the information is good. So let's create a new repository. I said let's create a new repository for this example. And we will put it in repos git me, and we'll put it in, yeah, this folder. Or wait, because it doesn't actually, this is like picking the folder the way that I would normally pick a solution folder where it creates a subfolder for the solution, but here you actually need to put in the full path. My bag. Okay, and this is going to be the MAUI Blazor theming example. Is that too long of a name? Why am I scrolling through this? And this will be, everyone can use it for free. I don't know which one of these is best. MIT. I will eventually want to read me, so yeah, we may as well. Use my GitHub. Widget signed in right away. That's all right. So this is MAUI Blazor theming example. An example project allowing theming in the UI and window. So like the main thing that we're doing with this is we're setting this up so that we can change a theme in our application, have all of our Blazor Razor class library stuff, because me as a native web developer, Blazor web developer, I guess that's what I'll call myself. I'm so used to making Razor components, and I'm not used to WPF, UWP, and now MAUI or Xamarin Forms. I'm not used to any of it. And so when I heard that you are able to take your existing Blazor skills to make the UI and have everything work cross-platform that way, I was all over it. However, there are things that I want to do that I just can't until now. So, oops, like pop out my solution explorer. So we're going to create a new solution in this folder. And it's going to be a MAUI Blazor app. And we'll call it select this folder. We'll call it theming example. All right, and we're going to do a whole bunch of setup that I normally would do anyway for new applications that I anticipate having more than one target. So what we get for free with MAUI is being able to target all of these: Android, iOS, Mac, Tizen, and Windows. But what if we also wanted this to be on the web? So I'm going to go ahead and create that. Yeah, I don't feel like renaming this. Normally what I would do is delete the first project and then rename it to .maui. Although you probably could have done that when creating the new solution, but that's fine. Doesn't matter. Instead, I'm just going to create a bunch of folders, 3 to be exact. The MAUI folder, shared, UI. And as you may have guessed, I'm going to create 3 projects, or 2 more projects. One of them is going to be a Razor class library. We'll do that one first. It's going to be a Razor class library. It's almost like I've never done this before. And we're just going to call it the same name as the main project, but Blazor. Ooh. Get rid of some of this boilerplate code. And actually, while I'm here, I'm going to get rid of just some of the scaffolded boilerplate stuff from here as well, because I'm not really caring about doing weather forecast or nothing like that. We're going to try to make this a feasible example with just the things that we need. So the other thing that I want to get rid of was in main program, we don't need the dependency injection. And I think that's it. I think that's it for now. Okay, so we have our Razor class library. That's going to be our Blazor component library. It's going to have our UI. And then we're going to have a new project for the shared class library that'll be used by both the UI, the MAUI project, and then later the Blazor web project. I have mail. It's important that I stay on top of my mail. So for anyone that might be watching this in the future, if I do post this on YouTube, I am an employee at a company named Sagetti. It's a consulting firm, and none of the things that I do or say here are related to Sagetti. They're my views, my opinions, my approaches and stuff. I actually don't have my YouTube anywhere. I don't even know which of my YouTube accounts I'll be using. Probably Bedukuri. Maybe? Yeah, I'll have to find out. Well, when you guys find this, you let me know what I chose. People from the future. Anyway, class library. No, I'm not leaving Twitch. How is that the conclusion? I'm hoping I will be posting this video on YouTube after 24 hours. Dukasoft. Dukasoft says bye. Okay, so here is the Razor class library. Get rid of this. All right, and so now my next step usually is to move all of my UI specific code out of the MAUI app. And I would do this if I was creating a new Blazor application as well, a new Blazor web application, whether it's Blazor server or Blazor WebAssembly. I would still have a separate component library that does all of my pages and components. Nerd Herders, like for prog testing, saying it was the most logical conclusion in my head. Nerd Herders, like, that's concerning. This is fine. All right, so I'm taking imports with me. I'm taking, although imports is going to fail, I'm taking main.razor with me and my CSS. So I'll get my CSS down there in a second. So this is moving them. Yes, I am Chortle. And I'm just going to grab the content from here. And actually, this is fine. We're going to use shared. So let me just push you there. And then put you there. So all that I did there was I added a reference to each of the projects. So I added a reference to shared from Blazor UI by dragging shared over Blazor UI. And then a reference to theming example from Blazor UI. To Blazor UI. You know what I mean. I'll add a class here just so that we have something. One class that I know that I'm going to want is in the theming. We will have a color theme enum. And all that this does for me is it gives me the .shared namespace so that that's no longer an error. Although, now that I think of it, I probably won't be using just .shared. Ops. So anyway, down here in imports, I'm just going to add that. The thing that we will use in here, though, is the Blazor UI.shared and Blazor UI. Prog testing says, I'm not surprised anymore. Dugaza says, I'm glad you were wrong. Yeah, the only thing that I mentioned is that I hope to post this on YouTube as an informational video, provided everything goes well. So the next thing I'm taking out of the MAUI project is the CSS and the favicon. And all that I should have to do is update these to use that. So I like having it where the rel is first, I think. Don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure I usually put rel first. Usually. I try to. And that's going to be an underscore content slash theming example.blazor UI slash CSS. This is still going to be the same isolated CSS file because everything will compile to this project when I'm using this project. So we want the consolidated isolated CSS files from this project. The next thing is, oh, right, updating the main page so that it's now using main.razor from the separate component library. And all we should have to do is add a reference to Blazor UI, main page, but can you also give me the assembly? No? Wait, I'm changing the wrong thing. Shh, don't tell anyone. That was the code behind class, the class name for this project. It is local. So I'm starting to get to learn a little bit more about this where you're aliasing this namespace essentially as local so that everywhere that you want to use classes and objects from this namespace, you put local colon. So that's the one that I meant to update. And so now we have Blazor UI that we can get main from. And main is this main.razor here. Apps. It is going to be fun with all of this trying to remember everything. So you guys are, everyone that's been to the streams lately where I've been just doing nothing but this MAUI business going back and forth on myself, this is my approach for learning, by the way. Do the same project over and over, learn a little bit more, start from scratch, recreate it, see if I can get it solidified in my head without looking up the things that I need to do to get it to work as often. That's just how I learn. That's how I roll. Your boat. Okay, so that I believe is everything that we need in order to have the UI separate from the component. The UI separate from the application that's running it so that I can use the same UI in multiple projects. So let's just see if it runs. First, let's do a regular build, see if there's anything that I missed, because I kind of have a feeling that I did. Missed a thing. And I might move I'll try to, I should say. I might move kind of fast. There's going to be a lot of copying and pasting of things that I've already created, but I'm going to create all of the files manually, all of the projects manually, all of the references manually, so that you can see where they're all coming from, and then I'll try to talk through what each piece is that I am copying and pasting. So I'm not just going to do what I normally do for myself, which is drag and drop files in. Hey, it built. So let's just run it. It's going to open on this screen over here. If it opens, it does open. And here is my hello world page. Right, I need to get rid of these two from nav menu. But you can see my hello world. Everything is good to go. Gravy. So step one for moving things out of the, oh, dang it. And I really did mean to have the entire project in GitHub start from file new project, but that's okay. I'll just push this one as my starting point. So nav menu, get rid of these two links because they don't exist. Okay, so initial commit is created new MAUI Blazor Hybrid project and split out UI and created shared library. Local commit because I don't need to commit anything to the server. So I will ask for help from anyone that might have a Windows 10 machine and already has Visual Studio Preview installed, because I want to confirm. I've tried it on my work computer, which is Windows 10, and my personal mobile studio, which is also Windows 10, and it has been the case, but I want to verify that there is an issue with Windows 10. If you happen to have a virtual machine that has Windows 7 or Windows XP, then I would appreciate having the same thing done. But essentially, I would just want to, because I know that no one is running Windows 7 and Windows XP on their actual computer, right? Right? Anyway, I want to verify that this only works in Windows 11 when we're targeting Windows, the functionality that we're about to write. So anyway, let's burn through this now that we got started. We have our UI, everything is put together. We want themes, so let's set up our theme colors. The way that I've been doing theme colors, since I'm doing both web and desktop, and cross-platform, of course, but primarily the Razor class library, I'm just going to consider it a web technology, even though it's not. It's just a way of writing Blazor, which is Razor markup, with dynamic variables and hooking up into things changing without you needing to post back to the same page. Anyway, I'm using an enum. What I would normally do is create a, which we're still going to do, we're going to create an iTheme class, is create an interface for all of my themes that says, if you want to be a theme, you have to have these properties. But for the, maybe we'll find a way to do this, but for the Razor class library, the theme management system is going to be different than the theme management system when running on Windows, Android, Tizen, Mac, etc. Yeah, and so all of the theming stuff for like changing the title bar color, changing fonts, changing the layout and stuff like that of the actual running Windows or Mac application that has a window is going to be handled directly in this theming example. Otherwise, it's just going to use responsive layout for sizing stuff in the or in the Razor class library. It's going to use CSS variables to change the coloring of stuff. So we'll set all of that up here very soon. But we created previously in previous streams color themes. And so I am going to go ahead and grab the enum for our color themes. And these are the ones that we came up with. Light, dark, blue, orange, grain, clay. And we also have a streamers one that we'll implement eventually. So with that, I need to define some colors. And the way that I've been doing these colors is, oh, right, resources. I have no idea who that was. Resources. There is one thing that I forgot. And that is that I normally put my resources that are shared throughout different MAUI types, let's say. Let's say that I have the Blazor Hybrid MAUI type, and then I wanted to also sketch out, like maybe this is for my learning. I want to sketch out a MAUI pure MAUI app, no Blazor UI or anything like that. And I want to learn how to make controls. I want to reuse the same resources still. So to do that, I am going to take my resources and put them in shared. Am I? I say that unconfidently. Crap. No, I'm going to put them in Blazor UI. Because this is where all of the UI goes. And it's telling me I can't. I can't. I'm just gonna not play around with this because there's a lot of times when I do stuff and then I just need to close and reopen Visual Studio and that fixes it. I don't want to play that game. And hello, Captain Commerce. I saw you were streaming yesterday and I noticed it after you just finished your stream. You kind of did. Okay. Can I delete resources now? No. Access is denied. There we go. Deny that, mother. Oh, I just deleted that one. Anyway, this is me loving on my computer. Awesome. Captain Comer says, yeah, I wanted to hop back on later at my normal time, but decided it's a day off and my PS4 was calling my name. Awesome. I cleaned up the remaining stuff for this theme picker, theme example. Now I forgot where I am. So I needed to move these out and notice that none of these are .xaml files, and that's why I'm okay with moving all of my resources out to another project. But here, that means that when I am trying to access those resources in my MAUI project, I need to give it the correct path to those resources. And that path is going to be you missed. You always miss. All right, so instead of theme example, I ended up calling it theming example. That's going to make it fun to copy and paste everything. Theming example dot blazor UI slash resources slash images slash resources slash raw app icon. All of that stuff is now in this Blazor UI project. And the reason that I did that is because I want some of these things available to my Razor class library as well. We'll get to that, I think. For now, let's just focus on being able to change the color of the application at runtime at that by picking a theme from our color themes. Okay, so then in order to have our colors for the themes, what I decided to do was create a dictionary of colors. And this seems to be a fairly standard thing you do in a, I'm assuming, WPF app or UWP app. But you pretty much create a styles folder in your resources, and that will have a resource dictionary, at least for MAUI, a resource dictionary, one called colors and one called styles. You could put both of these in the same resource dictionary if you felt like it. I like having them separate. And so our colors dictionary is going to be all of the possible colors that can be used in our app. And so once again, this is something that we created in a previous stream. If you want to see that, check out one of the VODs like last Friday. Oh, look at that. Oh man. Oh man, I kind of want to take this. So this is GitHub Copilot telling me that I really need to make these are shades of the dark side. I want to, but I don't want to get distracted. How about a to-do? I love this though. That was awesome. I just don't want to come up with the colors yet, but absolutely we'll do shades of the dark side too. I don't think that there's anything special that we need to do in the code behind for these. For the styles, it's just going to be a couple of basic styles. Since we really don't have very many UI elements in our app, I'm just going to add label and button. And these are going to begin by using the primary text color and the button background color. This seems wrong though. We'll have to revisit these, but I'm thinking I need these to be the static resource. And these will eventually come from my dictionary of theme colors. And so what we're going to do with the, whoa, what did I miss? Thank you so much, I See Evil. That's a cool name for the follow. The basic concept is I have a whole bunch of themes that are going to be wrapped by a resource dictionary, and depending on which theme is active, that's which resource dictionary is available to the app. So I'm going to switch out the resource dictionary in the app using a theme manager, a theme switcher. But hi, I See Evil. I hope you're doing well today. Hope it's a fantastic Tuesday for you. I'm having fun playing around with themes in Blazor MAUI. Blazor Hybrid, Blazor, whatever you want to call this. Because I have a current project that I'm doing for my job, and I'm using my Blazor skills because I'm a Blazor web developer to make a desktop application, or I guess modernize a desktop application. I'm not writing much of the logic for the underlying services and functionality. Okay, so how do we get these two into our app? Well, that's simple. Is it though? If you look in your scaffolded project, you'll see that app.xaml comes with a whole bunch of stuff in its resource dictionary. Since we are going to be doing a lot of stuff dynamically, I'm going to handle the majority of it with code. So I'm going to leave the application.xaml here and replace its contents with a comment that says see code behind for setup or something. I don't know. I think that's what I wrote before. So this is where I'm going to do all of the setup for this thing. And the easiest way that I have found to get all of those additional styles where I want them is simply by saying, since this application has a resource dictionary, then we just go to current dot resources dot merge dictionaries dot add, and all we have to do to get these in there is instantiate a new one. And because colors is everywhere, I need to specify resources styles colors so it knows that I'm talking about my custom colors resource dictionary here. And we're also going to add the styles dictionary. I think. Oh, it did this thing. One thing that I've noticed when I use Control Shift A to add a new resource dictionary is that the namespace that gets set for the most recent object will take the previous object and then tag on the file name. So I don't know if that's a bug or what, but it should be .styles. Same thing in the code behind. .styles. So this is the actual class name. So namespace is this, and then the class is .styles. So yeah, some quirks that you kind of have to notice. And it's really hard to keep track of, not gonna lie. So now that we have our colors and styles, and if we try to run right now, we're gonna see that we're gonna get errors. And the error that we should get is that we can't find primary text color, because in our colors we didn't specify anything like the actual object colors or primary color, or some named object that we're using, or not object, reference to one of these colors. So things like page background color and button background color and button border color and title bar color, all of these things. So those are what we need to define in our theme. What we could do, if we were smart, is create a basic theme essentially that will be our default if none of the themes load for whatever reason. But I'm not going to do that. No, you're okay, I see evil. I am using Visual Studio, the full IDE. This is Visual Studio Preview because MAUI tooling is not available for the regular Visual Studio at the moment. And what I mean by tooling is all of this stuff needed to be able to build, to be able to see your syntax highlighting, IntelliSense, all of that stuff. For MAUI project types is not available in regular Visual Studio. Feel free to ask questions. No worries about that. So, we don't have anything named primary text color. The end. And so that's why, not that's why, my intent is to use a theme in order to manage those particular properties, because I don't want them existing in colors because I want to override them. And the way that I want to override them is simply by switching out which theme is currently active. So to set up my themes, I would like a thing that I called a theme resource dictionary. And this theme resource dictionary is going to be just a regular resource dictionary that wraps all of my theme colors. So where are my theme colors going to come from? I think I put this in shared. I hope I put this in shared. I did not put this in shared because it only applies to this app. So my theme colors are going to come from, at least on the MAUI portion of the app, my theme manager. It wants to be manager. What can I do? And so I'm going to have an iTheme, so an interface that will just define what a theme must have in it. And so every theme must have these properties. It must define the page background color, the primary text color, the bar background color, bar text color, and button background color. I could default these if I wanted to. And that way it's like we just have a page background color of white, text color of black, bar background white, bar text color black, button background color blue, whatever. We could do that. But again, I want to force myself and anyone else that wants to follow this pattern to define all of these colors when they're setting it up. So let's create some themes. Such as in, all that I'm doing is I'm taking all of the colors that we defined here in this enum and creating an associated theme class. So light theme, dark theme, blue theme, orange theme, rain. That should have been with a W. Theme. And coffee. And there they all are. The other thing that I would like is to clean them up and have them all implement iTheme. And then I'll show you something that I did to begin with and how I got to the point that we're making it to. Semicolon. See, so Tyron was kind of concerned on Friday, so he was hanging out with us in the community voice channel in Discord. He was concerned that what in the world is that? That I was just doing anything that he suggested. Like, just because I say, here's a good way to do it, doesn't mean you have to do it that way. And I'm like, these are things that I like. I wouldn't do it if I didn't like the approach. No. I'm not forcing you to do anything prog testing. But anyway, so one thing that Nerd Herder revealed to us is putting a semicolon after the namespace when it's in scoped, regular class scope namespace, whatever it's called. We'll turn it to file scope namespace without needing to delete the curly brace here and down here, or control dot and tell it to do file scope namespace. So I use that all the time because it's easier, it's clean, it's sleek. And then the one that Tyron showed me that I'm using for everything is dragging and dropping a project over another one to create the project reference, because I love it. It's so easy, so nice. But anyway, all of these are going to be right. They're going to be right. That's it. Okay. So these are all going to be get only properties because that's what the interface calls for. I said I want each of these to be read only. I don't want to be able to reassign these. The force is strong with this one. So once they're set for a given theme, they're going to be set forever. One thing that I would love to do with this is turn these into static classes, since I only want to set each theme once. The problem is I don't know how to approach it. So maybe we'll explore that in a later video. But for now, we're just going to do it like this. Sorry, it's always one, but another thing that we could do is manually set these colors based on the color that I want them to be from. So light mode is going to be easy to do this with, and then undo it. This is where I told you that I'm going to show you how I originally did it, and then each progressive step for how I got to where we are now. So I would have colors open, and black and white are really, let's say these are the only two colors in light theme. So all of my text colors are going to be color.black. All of my, is that not, whatever. They're going to be color dot from ARGB black. I like how it's from ARGB, and I put in the hex code. And then if you do from hex, it's like, don't use from hex. That's obsolete. Use from ARGB. Sure. And then everything else that's remaining is white. Whoops. So I could do that. But when you get to things like the Boo theme and the grain theme, you kind of want to reuse the same colors you've already picked without needing to go into your color sheet and be like, well, I want this version of blue. And later on you're like, wait, no, I want this version of blue, the darker one. It'd be better if we could pick the color using a dictionary lookup for that particular color. That way, if we change it here, we can say everywhere this shade of blue is going to be a little bit darker because it's not quite dark enough. Or this shade of blue is going to be a little bit lighter because it's not light enough, or whatever we happen to do. So my next thought was, well, I would prefer to use the dictionary. In order to use the dictionary, I need to pass in a resource dictionary to be able to get the colors from. Another thing that I could do is when you instantiate this particular theme, then you pass in the color for each of these properties. But then what if I want to add a new property to my theme? What if I want to add a new color? And it's like, oh, just so many things to consider. So I'm like, well, colors is just a class. And the contents of this class are not going to change unless, it's changed during edit time, during design time. But while the app is running, these things are static. So why not dependency inject my colors so that they are available everywhere? So first dependency injection, builder.services, add singleton, resources, styles, colors. Let's go! On Games is here. Good stream yesterday. Fun stream, fun times. You're getting so much done in Rise of Piracy. It's so cool. And if you guys don't know about it, Rise of Piracy is an up and coming RTS. The alpha version is going to be released later this year, or early access is going to be released later this year. It looks like it's going to be a ton of fun. If you're into, I don't know any RTS games off the top of my head, but you're always naming the ones that you can compare it to or that you got inspiration from. Anyway, check it out on Steam. Take a look. Yar. Add it to your wish list. Tell people about it. Get the word out. So now we're going to have our colors available everywhere. So when we create a theme, I would like to get colors. And yes, there is an issue with this. This would also mean that if I want this to be dependency injected, I would need to create a singleton for every single one of those themes. Oh, it's in Theme Manager. Excuse me. You're supposed to be themes. Did that update everyone? Nope. I just do it manually. But once again, we run into the issue of what happens if I want to add a new theme. That's already 4 places that I need to update. I need to update the enum that has the theme. I need to create the class and add the colors. I need to do whatever theme manager is actually going to do with the theme. And I need to add it to my dependency injection container. I don't want to do that. I'm too lazy for that. I only want as few things that I need to set up and then have the application do the rest. Which there's still going to be a lot of manual stuff, but we're going to figure out how to automate a lot of this stuff. Whether it's using code generators that I've never used before, which I want to. Maybe we just decorate these with an attribute and then it does the theme setup to add it to the theme manager. I'm sure that's a thing. So anyway, I don't want to set the colors this way now. Instead, I want to set up my colors using my color dictionary. So I will grab all these. I will say to him, you will come with me. Oops. Equals. And because color dictionary, when you do a lookup in a dictionary, it's usually a string object. And that is the case here. So my colors is a resource dictionary. And so I can just dereference it for the particular color that I want. And this is why I have the properties in my theme as opposed to an actual string. Because if I want to add a new color or a new themed color that I'm going to be reusing throughout my app, then all I have to do is just add a new property to my interface and then define that color in every single one of my chosen themes. And this is going to eventually turn into my dictionary key. And then the value for that key will be based on what theme is active. That's why we made this thing here. So this thing is also going to be an iTheme. Oops. And you'll see why I did a private set for this one shortly. Or tally. Dukasoft says, more themes, 50 Shades of P. Let's just call it coffee. Cosmic latte. So anyway, our theme dictionary. Let's just go ahead and do this one. So we know how a theme works. We just tell the thing that we want to be a theme to implement iTheme, and then specify the colors for that particular theme based on the provided colors. So I'm sure, because this is going to be a whole bunch of repeated code, I am sure that there is a way to abstractify. Yeah, we'll do this one first. To make less code, do less reusable code. I tried making an abstract class that these. You know what I haven't tried? Now that I'm taking this approach, this should work. Oh my goodness. All right, we're going to try this. This is bad. I meant to keep going with the thing that I know works, but I'm pretty sure this is going to work. So we have our theme base, which is going to be an iTheme, and it's going to be an abstract class. It's going to have a constructor. It's going to take colors, and then it's going to set all of its colors like so. Ampersand then, each one of these is going to inherit theme base. And hello, Barbarasso. And all of their constructors are going to be resources, styles, colors, base. Oh, right. Colors, Coors, because everyone loves Coors. Base, colors. And there's our reduced code. There's our reduced code. That's nice. Why didn't you think of that? Why didn't you tell me earlier? I hope this is going to work. If not, this is a lot of copy pasta that will need to be changed. I'll fix the constructor's name in a second. I just want to finish my copy pasta. Coffee pasta. Here's my coffee theme. Oh, that's why I can't do that. I just remembered why I can't do it. This was a previous approach. So this, I did try this before. Go Brain, thank you for telling me now. I did try this before where I created, I was like, this seems vaguely familiar. I created a abstract class that all of my themes inherited, and that abstract class did the whole setting of the colors this way. That also means that for every theme class, I would also need to create a theme XAML file. And I don't want to do that. I want to do as much C# as possible because I want to avoid XAML. And then I also tried because I was like, well, I could just do the theme, move all of these themes into here and have them be .xaml with a backing .xaml.cs and make them all resource dictionaries since that's what I'm going to use anyway. But then I wanted them to be abstract from an abstract class so that they can all set their colors based off of the passed in colors. But anyway, point is, this is not actually how I'm getting my colors. I'm getting my colors for page background from the actual colors sheet. So for example, in Boo theme, the colors that I chose for each of these properties is Boo 4, white, Boo 5, Boo 1, and Boo 5. Great. Now I have to undo all of those. So I'm just going to copy and paste all of the theme colors that I chose. Pasta. Feel free to skip around the video. We'll start with light mode. Here's my copy pasta. And I'm not going to, if I post this, I'm not going to edit it because I already have a lot of stuff to do. My new doggo says hi. Have you been hanging out with your new doggo a lot lately, Barbarasso? Kawaii. Kawaii. Feel free to post many, many, many pictures. There are tons of people in our stream that love doggos and doggo pics. Goopy. Fiesta. Coffee. Fast. I need to move faster. Do. Tukasoft says, already looking for dog pics. Hashtag already looking for dog pics. We already did Boo, right? Right. Okay. So those are all of my themes. Now the question is, how am I going to get these themes into a resource dictionary when I only have one resource dictionary? Are you thinking of merging these dictionaries inside of here, like doing a resource dictionary, merge dictionaries, resource dictionary, source equals, and then doing one for all of them? And that was my first approach. It was like, yeah, and then I could just pick and choose and then add and remove from my merged dictionaries the actual dictionary. But as it turns out, if you supply the source here, it's harder to find out whether or not that resource dictionary is already part of your app's resource dictionary, merged dictionaries. And so it's easier to find it by class, from what I found out for myself. I have found it to be the case. So we're going to go with that approach instead. And what I essentially did is when I am creating a new resource dictionary to be added, so this is the one type of object that's going to be added to my theme manager. My theme manager is only going to keep track of a list of theme resource dictionaries. All I need to do is pass it an iTheme. And because I knew that there was going to be multiple properties, which again, I still want to use an abstract class, but this is where using an abstract class failed for me. I was trying to have an abstract class that inherited from resource dictionary, and that's how I ended up with theme resource dictionary, but I couldn't make it an abstract class. I needed to have both the XAML and code behind, and I'll figure it out one day. But I wrote this logic here for instantiating my resource dictionary. What is it? So as you can see, this is using reflection. Everyone's like, ew, reflection, don't do that. It's slow. It's going to get faster in .NET 7. Where I get all of the possible properties where it is a color. Because like what I would do eventually is, and I have done this, keep props, is make an array of properties that I want. So for example, color, maybe I want brushes too. Let's say that my button background color also has a button background that is a brush. Then I could find that by going keep props contains prop type. So this will ignore all of the resource dictionary specific properties and only give me color, brush, hair, whatever else I put in here. Only the things that I care about. So it'll loop through every possible property in this class, actually in the past in theme, as well as the properties in this class, and set the properties in this class equal to the past in property, the matching property from the past in object, as well as adding the property to the dictionary. And so that's pretty much what I'm doing here in app.xaml, where I'm adding a whole bunch of classes to a merge dictionary. Here I'm adding specific key value entries to my dictionary. And those keys are going to match all of my property names. And so when I'm doing any of my XAML MAUI code, I can use name of page background color or just the spring page background color when I'm assigning a color, for example, to a button, to a specific button. So that'll make all of these colors available. So now I have a way to get all of my main color named colors from my list of available colors in a themed way. So let's finish that out. All of you guys are set. So we have all of our theme colors. We aren't using theme base at the moment, but I want to. And we have our theme dictionary that will represent our active themes as well as all of our possible themes too. But we need something to actually manage it. So let's add our theme manager. And our theme manager is, so for testing purposes, we can have an interface for it that we can swap out for whatever we want. But in this case, it'll just be the theme manager. And our interface for our theme manager, we need to keep track of certain things. We need to keep track of the colors. Theme park manager. Yes. Our colors dictionary, which again, we can't directly dependency inject it into these unless we are also dependency injecting these. So in my theme manager, I'm going to grab a reference to the dependency injected colors, the singleton for the app, so that I can use it when adding all of these themes. Where am I adding these themes to? A dictionary that maps our color theme enum, remember that thing that we created at the very beginning, to the actual theme resource dictionary that has the model that holds all of the colors for our given theme. And then this is just a way to be able to get back the value, the theme dictionary, by using a dereference on the theme enum. That was fun to figure out. So the implementation looks a little bit like this. What? So, cheater. So what this is a constructor. This thing, like I said, is the thing that we're going to dependency inject throughout the app. So let's get that set up. iTheme manager namespace issues. Am I right? So we're dependency injecting this iTheme manager, which means that whatever we request in the constructor is also going to be from dependency injection. So we're going to get our color dictionary, which is that singleton colors.xaml.cs, and we're able to now keep track of that. Then for each enum, for each value in our enum, so light, dark, blue, green, blah, 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 we're going to find out what class type is that theme. And so I just make a simple extension method on themes, on color theme, which is going to be our theme helpers. It's going to be a static class because I want it to be an extension method. And this thing just is going to have, well, let's start easy. Let's start with the get theme type. So this is going to return the actual type based on the theme. So this is where I said we have that little bit of extra setup that I want to figure out how we can completely avoid. Maybe have some way to match the enum to the class name, where we do class theme and the enum is the class name without the word theme, or something, just something to get this thing to be less like when you add a new theme, you have to add that enum here with the lookup for its type, add it to here, this class, and then yeah, anyway. Still, we have lots of optimizations we can do, but I just want to prove that this works. So we'll keep going with what we got. Also in here, actually we'll do them when we get to them. You stay there. Don't move. What are you closing it for? We're going to have to come back here. So our theme manager will get the type. It'll use reflection to create an instance of that type passing in the color dictionary. So that's how we get the color dictionary into the constructor for a given theme. And then add that to our list of tracked themes, or our dictionary of tracked themes by theme, color theme enum. And so we're just setting our themes equal to this themes dictionary that we are accumulating. I don't know why I'm doing that when I could just... Oh. Oh, because it's an iRead-only dictionary. That's right. And I made it into an iRead-only dictionary because I don't want the actual key value pairs to change, nor the values within those key value pairs. And so I'm pretty much just taking a dictionary and then casting it to an iRead-only dictionary. That's why I did it this way. I remember now. So then the implementation of the dereference using the square brackets, the indexer, is themes.tryGetValue. If that theme doesn't exist, then output null. And then finally, we put an F down here. Get theme object. What am I using you for? Oh, right. This is just the method version of... Wait, can't I do that then? Convenience methods. This was just a way for you to be able to use a method .get theme object, pass in the color theme, as opposed to using the square bracket. It's just like the .get when you have a dictionary. You can do .get and then in parentheses quotation or whatever type of object it is, pass that in for the key. Okay, so that's the theme manager in a nut. Okay, we have that dependency injected. We have all of our themes now added to our collection of themes. We have an association of the color theme enum to the actual class for the themes. Now we need to use it in our apps. So let me do another quick push for added theme manager and associated classes and helpers. Now we need to use this thing in our application to actually make changes happen. Yeah, commit locally, please. I guess one thing that I should check is, can we still build and run? 1 hour left. We got this. We did all that in 1 hour. That's nice. So coming up next, we're going to be setting up a few things. We need a way for our application to know what the active theme is. So I'm going to create a state class that is going to be shared in both the MAUI application and the Razor components, which means that it could also be shared with a web component, web application as well. So then doing that, we'll have our preferences state class dependency injected everywhere. And we'll have the application listen for changes to properties. So we're going to implement iNotify property change on that. We could use, and we probably will in the future, we could use the community toolkit and just add that decorator observable property and everything will be done for us. But we're going to go ahead and set up iNotify property change ourselves for now. But yeah, check out the James Montemagno video on the community toolkit. It is fantastic. It's awesome to see. It's, yeah, if you want the link, at least for those of you currently in Twitch, is this one that I'm talking about without the timestamp, but whatever. It's so good. There are so many tools in the community toolkit. But anyway, so we're going to continue on then. We were able to build and run. And the app still looks to be broken. Primary text color is still not a thing. Is it not? The iTheme. Primary text color. Oh, duh. We actually need to add at least one theme to the dictionary. So we can't run the app yet until we have a theme selected. So that's what goes here. So in order to do that, I guess we can just do it off the bat real quick. Add new, or we can get the theme manager to give us, let's say, the color theme dot, just to make it interesting, let's pick the Kohi theme. Ultra Lord likes the theme manager, the iTheme manager. Good birdie. Okay, so now we can see that it ran. We don't actually see any color changes because we haven't hooked it up to anything, but we do know that now there is a primary text theme, primary text color theme, and all of the other properties. Run it anyway. We'll do it live. So we added a theme. Go us. So this is just adding a chosen theme that we selected. But we don't want that. We want whatever theme the user last selected. Let's say that we're storing all of our user preferences in the application's preferences, or for the Blazor WebAssembly application in local resources, local storage, wherever we put it. Or maybe we store it in the database and then we retrieve it on application load for the given user's machine, like we store it by connection ID or some kind of magic string that the application knows is tied to this computer or this running instance of the application. Point is, we should first get the user's most recently used theme. Then apply that theme to the dictionary. Okay, so Zultra Lord posted the YouTube link for the meme. Okay, so I need to do this quickly because my brain is starting to slow down. Because I'm starting to think back to my work application, but we're really close. So let's go ahead and set up our state. And to do that, I put my state classes inside of my shared project. Do I though? Nope, I put it in my UI project because this is state that's related to, man, there's, wait, no, that is my shared project. Okay, I normally do. So I need it in a state folder. State preferences state.cs. And just for a bonus, you can have my base, what do I even call this thing? It's my base notify property change. Base notify property changes. I got this from someone else, so I don't remember where I got it from. I usually have, I usually give good attribution, I'm usually good at citing my sources, but I don't remember because I was looking through so many um, resources to try to figure out how to accomplish the thing that I'm trying to accomplish. But one of the things is a base notify property changes, and that's an abstract class that has all of my iNotify property changing and iNotify property changed um, implementation. And you'll be able to find this in the GitHub repo. So don't worry too much about what this is. It's just essentially a way for me to call property changed to raise the event property changed and property changing simply by adding or inheriting from this. And so the thing that actually inherits from this is my base state, because there's going to be other stuff that we add to all state classes. But for now, there's nothing else that we need to add to base state. And then our preferences state is going to inherit from that, which will allow me to have the notify property change logic in there. It's not nearly as good as the community toolkit. So if you're looking for something that will give you that iNotify property changing and iNotify property changed, yeah, take a look at the community toolkit. It is amazing from what I can tell. I just need to look into it more. Hello, Disco. We are most of the way through getting this theming example set up, and then I'll push it to GitHub very, very shortly. So my preferences is a state. Super simple. I'm just keeping track of the active theme. That's the only thing that we care about right now. So this is my setup for it. I have a backing field. No idea why that's public. I have a private backing field. And it's defaulting to Kohi. And when I am setting my public property, when I'm changing it, I am calling this set property method of our base notify property changes, which raises both the property changing before it actually changes and then property changed after it changes. And so that's all that this is. A whole bunch of what I would normally have is a whole bunch of backing fields and a whole bunch of full properties that return the backing field and then set the backing field using this set property method, passing the backing field as a reference object. But that's it. That's all we need for our preferences state. So now we need to prepare for dependency injection. Because I only ever want one preferences state. Cool. So now we can ask for a preferences state in app.xaml. And that way we can use our current preferences state to get the active theme. Right, which only goes in here. And so now we are populating or adding to our dictionary whatever the active theme is from preferences state. So let's get rid of this to do, because the to do will be handled in the actual preferences state right here in the CTOR. What I would normally do, and I'm not going to implement this at the moment, we're kind of running out of time quickly. It's going so fast. I would have an I preferences service. Oop. To do, hey Peterman. And then I would assign my local preferences service with a private read-only iPreferences service named preferences service. And then I still am not sure of where to put this. So I normally have a helper method that is asynchronous that is initialize. And so that would look like some more private fields. So, oops. So since this is async, I don't do it on initialization. So I really don't know a better way to do this. I'm open to suggestions from you future people, but not today. So if initializing or initialized, I forgot my initialized, then return, do nothing, because it's either in the state of being initialized or it has already been initialized. And we will await task.delay. So we will, oh wait, first we have to turn initializing on. We'll just simulate waiting 300 milliseconds and put that in the try catch to simulate. We're going to a service and we are getting user preferences. And then we're updating our current preferences. Man, this is so good. We're updating our user preferences based off of that service going and getting the user preferences. Again, if we're running a Blazor WebAssembly or Blazor server application from local host or local storage, if we're running the MAUI app from the MAUI preferences, yeah, it's just in-app preferences. So whatever service we dependency inject for this iPreferences service is the one that's going to give us our current user preferences, and then we're going to apply them to our preferences state. But that's the logic for it. We're just going to simulate it here. And we will do, after we get those, then we will do initialized equals true because it was successful. If it wasn't successful, I like saying successful, we would handle the error here. And finally, are you going to know what I want to do for finally? We turn initializing to false. No matter what happens, we turn off initializing. So with that said, back in our app.xaml, again, I really don't know what the right approach to this is, but we would do, first I want to keep track of my, yeah, no problem, Dukasoft. If you feel like checking out the rest of the video, it should be in the VOD and posted to YouTube hopefully after 24 hours. It feels like it's going pretty good, so I'm going with it. So I'm keeping track of my preferences state and my theme manager. And then I am going to preferences state dot initialize. I don't know a better way to do this. I'm doing it using task.run wait because I want it to do this initialize step synchronously so that I know I have my preferences by the time we get here. And so now we have it. We have our logic for grabbing the user's existing preferences, on startup applying the theme, at least adding the theme dictionary for that particular theme, and continuing on with the rest of the initialization. However, we're still not going to see anything happen in the application yet. And that's because we need a way to apply the theme to the window. The Blazor side is going to be super easy once we create all of the CSS variables. The window application, Windows, when you're targeting Windows, the title bar here is the thing that I want to target and change the color of. And so when I change my theme, I would love it if that title bar changed colors too. So that's where we're heading next. So step one, you say we need to talk. You say, what's up? Hello, real life. What's up? He walks. You say, sit down, it's just a talk. So in order to apply this theme, I'm going to make a method called apply theme. And I'm going to put that in place of this merge dictionaries. We are making headway in this thing that I've been beating my head against forever. So fun times. This is my apply theme method. So what apply theme takes is the color theme enum, and we now have the fun logic that was really hard to come up with. It was 80 lines long, then 20, and then 150, and now 10 lines long. But this is what I came up with. First thing that we do is we get the list of merged dictionaries for the current application. Then we find out which theme is the active theme from within that dictionary. That is a method that I specified in my theme helpers. That's an extension on resource dictionary. That looks like this. So a merged dictionary is an I collection of resource dictionary. Hello, Goku Jax. And this thing essentially just looks through that dictionary and says, is the type, or give me the first entry in that dictionary whose name contains theme, or whose original string, whose source path contains theme, which probably should be /themes or something. And I'm not using source anymore at all, so I could probably just get rid of that part of it, but really we're only looking for a dictionary whose class type contains theme. Probably ends with theme. Actually, this one would be theme resource dictionary, but whatever. Oh no, it'd be the class name. Sorry. So that'll give us the active theme. Then I had a is. So I'm comparing the enum color theme to the resource dictionary for the theme. Is this color theme enum the theme enum for this class, the class that's this resource dictionary? Yes, no, maybe? Actually, it's just yes or no. So there we go. We have a way of comparing, is the current theme the dictionary that we found, the active theme, for example. So let's go back to our app.xaml. So if we actually have a current theme, and that theme is not the current theme that we're trying to change it to, then we can continue on. I said that so backwards. If we don't have an active theme, if we do have an active theme and that active theme is the one that we're trying to change it to, we don't need to do anything. Otherwise, we need to remove the theme if it's in the dictionary, the current theme, and replace it with our updated theme, which is that theme manager dereference using the color theme enum. And so we add that to the dictionary. Further, if we're running on Windows, we want to apply the color theme to the Windows application. I tried putting this in so many different places, this Windows helper thing, to get the theme to apply. And the easiest place that I found to do it, lo and behold, is in the platform specific folder. So if I add a new item here called all these lessons learned window helpers, and it's still getting refined too. So my window helpers is a static class that provides various things to the app window, and this app window is specific to Windows, and that's why I put it in here. Resource dictionary comes from resources, themes, resource dictionary. ToWinUI color is also a theme helper, but only one that works on Windows. And I figured it makes the most sense to put it here, but at the same time, now that I'm looking at it, I'm not using it anywhere else. So maybe I can just put it inside of window helper. And what this does is it pretty much goes from a MAUI color to Windows UI. Oh, and there it is. I just can't ever get it to work when I try this. So skip that. Skip that. We're gonna put it in theme helpers and also in salad. And because this has a if Windows here, even though this is in Windows, I need to surround this with if Windows as well, which is kind of annoying. Even though this whole thing is platform specific for Windows. So this whole thing is find the app window by going into the application current Windows, first or default, using the handler from that and getting the platform view. That is the way that you get the native WinUI 2, WinUI 3 window, whatever it is, from the running application. If there are no windows, then don't do anything. Return null. If there is a window, get its handle. Find the actual window ID from the operating system, the underlying operating system, and then return the app window version of it, because app window is the thing that has this title bar property on it, which is crazy that you have to go through all of that just to get to the title bar. So apply color theme will either take an app window that you already found or only the color theme, but it will always take the color theme. If the app window that was passed in is null, then try to get the app window from here. If it's still null, don't do anything. Otherwise, we have an app window. So here's where the issue lies. If app window.titleBar is null, we don't want to try to do anything. Go in here. Otherwise, if it's not null, grab the current bar background color from our dictionary, from our currently loaded theme dictionary, and apply it to the bar background, to the bar background, essentially, and the button background. Because both of those, like this minimize, maximize, and close button, that entire area has its own width and background color. So even if we applied it to applied the color to the background color, it would only take up just like all of the rest up to the under minimize and all of that stuff. Then the other thing that was happening is as soon as I set the background color, the icon was working. And so with the icon working, the color changed. So this icon here, for example, if I change the color of the title bar, this icon here, the background for that wouldn't change until the next re-render, which is click off of the screen, click back on, or change it to another color in which it would get the previous color. So this forces it to refresh and apply the correct background color. Lessons learned yet again. Okay, so we're almost there. That allows us to now set the background color of the screen. I also want to set the title. So I guess while we're here, the easiest way to set the title in a Windows app, when targeting Windows, I guess is what I mean, is simply to hook into the create window lifecycle event, which you can do in MAUI program.cs as well. But if you do it in the file, in the application here, app.xaml.cs for the entire application, then you get this nice little overridable method that you can set the title. And so now when we run this, we'll see that it doesn't build because I missed a semicolon. Oh, right. I have a whole bunch of hash if statements. So if Windows, we have a few imports, such as theming platform Windows, which might be the only import we need anymore. Hello again, Bob Ross. Window helpers does too exist. It's right here. In theming example, which I changed the name of, which I'm going to have to remember. Okay, so now it's running, and no color change, but we do have the title. So I'm not exactly sure why we didn't get the color change. We apply the theme. Oh, right. And that's because when we get to here, this one, your mom can't navigate to the source. When we get to here, app window is null. We can't get the app window because it doesn't exist by the time it tries to run this for the first time. So what I had to do for that is go into the app.xaml.cs for the Windows platform specific code and add my window listener. And that is done like so. Again, copy pasta code for me. All right, so some of the other stuff that I do in here is change the screen height and width. Actually, I'll just show that. If you want to resize the window on load for when you're running this on Windows, this is also where you do it. So I'm setting it to a fixed size of 1420 by 838 because I can. And then we're doing the exact same code for the window helper get active window, except that instead of using application.current, we're using the handler that we get from this event, from this mapper. So that will give me the same native window that we get here, and then all of the same logic, except that I actually have to activate the window in order for it to show, in order for it to say there is a title bar. So then we get the window handle, get the window ID, and then finally the app window itself. Here's where we are setting up the dimensions, which I'm going to do down here actually. Closer to that stuff. This is where I'm actually setting up the current theme to take effect as soon as we load the application. So give me the preferences state, give me the theme manager, give me the active theme. Once again, this is where I would do something like task run dot initialize, and we don't have to worry about the preferences state initializing more than once. That's why I put in that flag. So you can put this as many places as you want without needing to worry about, are we trying to initialize it over and over and over? Because if it's already trying to initialize, don't do anything. Just like the pirates, who don't do anything. And then we use the window helper and pass in the app window. So now we should see a visual change to the title bar on load. And here it is, that beautiful mocha color, nice coffee color. Oh, it's so nice. And you can see that the text is also changed color. It's so nice. Okay, so can't stop for too long. I added code to apply initial theme on load. Our next step is to make a dropdown in our Blazor UI that will affect the underlying window. So in order to get that to work, we're going to hook into our preferences state dot property changed event. Handle preference changed. And what this is going to do is anytime one of our properties changes on preferences state, which there's only one, the only one that we have is the active theme. So when this thing changes, it's going to raise that property changed event. And so we're hooking into that and saying, when you raise that property changed event, I want to handle it here. But I also want to unsubscribe from it when I dispose. So let's do that too. It's nice to clean up. Now, the base notify property change class, it does have a thing that when it disposes, it also unsubs all of its anything that might have been subscribed to it just by setting them equal to null. But I have seen that this subscription thing happens twice. So app.xaml.cs runs twice or something because I get double events if I don't do the dispose. Even though there's only one app.xaml.cs here. I don't know. I don't get it. But anyway, this should be all it takes. If the thing that's changing, so if e.property name is, I've done this so many times, Copilot is like, I'll write it for you. If the property that's changing is the active theme, then apply that theme. So now we need a way to raise it. So in our main index page, we're going to put a nice little drop down selector, and we'll put a label on it that says active theme with a select, bind it to a the preferences state dot active theme, which we will dependency inject here. Right. Nope. Preferences state. Call it preferences state. Get set. Tell it this thing is never going to be null. And the way that we're going to get the items from it is simply to loop through the enum values. So for each var theme in enum get values, color theme, control dot, not yet, control dot, option value, color theme, color theme. All right, normally I would have a display name for each of these and it would be pretty for each. Why did I just do 4? That's funny. He's funny. You're expecting a semicolon. You're so weird. So this gives us a dropdown that when we change the value of the dropdown, it's going to change the value of active theme, which is going to raise the property changed event, which will tell the underlying application to change the color of the title bar. Will it blend? Let's find out in the next video. No, we'll do it now. Okay, so we got our initial Kohi color. It even set the dropdown equal to Kohi. I don't know why it does this though. But anyway, let's pick light. And the title bar background changed, the button background changed, the icon background changed, everything changed. And dark, there it is, black and white. Boo, that's a pretty boo color. Orange, which still kind of looks like burn. Grain, and Kohi again. And so you can do this all day long. And so we have a working theme changer that affects the underlying window. Gosh, it took me so long to get there. This isn't a video on doing it in Blazor, but I did say that we are going to. So we may as well do something just to show that we can do it in Blazor as well. So to do that, in my CSS, I'm not even going to use SAS, which I normally do. So I normally define all of those colors that you see here in colors. Here. I usually define these as SAS colors, and then I assign all of the CSS variables to them. But instead, I'll just put them here. So this is my first time doing this part of it, so hopefully I don't screw up too bad. So all of these are going to turn into CSS variables. Oh, is there going to be a... Okay, good. Everyone followed the same pattern. Good for you. Okay, and then we usually have a lowercase character for all of the things. And then I want to get rid of all of these. Really? Oops. Grr. Okay, there. So we have all of our CSS colors now. Now I want my actual color themes. So my basic color theme is my light theme. That's if there is no theme selected, it's just going to be light theme. Why? Probably not. It's going to be dark theme. Oops. I meant to do under lowercase underscore. All of them say color, so I can do that because lazy. Okay, and then these are just going to be a reference to one of those colors above. So this one is going to be Danky Kang. He's so cool. You guys are all cool. Um, these are going to be, I guess I just called it black. Black page background, white text color, black bar, white bar text. And I would of course make these completely different names anyway. Um, blue. Why not? And I would have in my entire application usages of those CSS variables. So my background color for my HTML and body is going to be var primary page background color. For all of my buttons, my color is actually going to be button background color. Oh, and also, yeah, I keep forgetting that you can't use just whack whack for the whatever this is called. I guess I may as well have my button foreground color. No whack whack for you. And I guess you also need color, primary text color. Okay, so that's how I would essentially just keep styling the rest of the app using the colors that I selected up here. And then the way that I would apply my theme is each of my themes here would get a separate class rule. So Boo theme, for example, which I guess I can do like this. No, it's actually just theme Boo. Right. So Boo theme would have these things defined as well. And those colors are Boo 4, white, Boo 5, Boo 1, Boo 5. Boo 4, white, Boo 1, Boo 4. Wait. Boo 5, Boo 1, Boo 5. 5, 1, 5. And that means that I need some way to be able to change the background color or add a class to body, because this will be body.theme.boo. And I would do one of these for each of my colors, but add a theme to my body that will be applied when I change my color. So to do that, I have a JavaScript helper module that I need to remember how I did. How much time? Ah, 1 minute. So as you know, I have a meeting on Tuesdays at 12:30, so I will be ending in about a minute. But let me grab this helper. And so this helper is just it's going to be used as a module. Excuse me, I'd like to F2 now. Main layout func. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show this. Um, so this is essentially just a way for me to switch out the class on body in an easy way. Everything is all going off now. So I need to add that to index.html, index.html. Come on, come on. I don't know why I need to look this up. Probably because I need to remember what order to put the module information for when importing module. Come on, we got this. Bonus content. Uh, ooh, I really don't know where I'm using that then. In any case, I will show this next time. However, I will go ahead and publish this to GitHub. So added theme switcher to Blazor UI and subscribed to preferences changes to update the title bar color. Okay, so I'm going to commit and push. So this code is available on GitHub. My GitHub is github.com/11line. github.com/11line. And you'll be able to see it in repositories. It is called MAUI Blazor theming example. Feel free to pick that code apart. As I mentioned earlier, this is where I would ask for help. I'm looking for someone with a Windows 10 or Windows 7 or earlier machine to clone this project and see if the title bar is getting the color. My guess is that it's not. And the reason that it wouldn't be is because here in this Windows helper, for this get active window, by the time you get here to line 27 in Windows helper, app window is null. Or no, wait, app window is not null. By the time you get here in any of them, line 30 in Windows helper, title bar is null. So if you put a breakpoint here, run the application using F5, debugger attached on Windows 10, I believe title bar is null. Next time we're going to explore how to make that not be null. So that's it for now. That's going to be my time. I need to get ready for this meeting. Thank you all for being here. Thanks for hanging out with me. Captain Commerce, super duper fun having you here. Your streams are always fun as well. Hope I get to catch you again soon. I've been missing a lot of streams because I've been doing so many other things. But yeah, thanks again for hanging out. I'm just going to run. Sorry, no raid. I will talk to you all again in the future whenever you come back by. Ciao for now. Shalom. Bye, Dukasoft. Bye, Disco. Bye, Reloft. Bye, Zoltralord. Bob Ross. Goga Jax. Nerd Herder. Way, way up here. I see evil. Thanks for stopping by. Prog testing. Dukasoft. Defines. Everyone. Ciao.